So, adventurers. This campaign takes place in a world called Elerin. Elerin is a world teeming with magic, bursting at the seams. But for you guys, this place is normal. It's your home. It's where you were born, it's where you grew up, it's all you know. We fade in on you, 3, a small town called Hillfort. It's nestled between 2 main roads, a fork if you will. The roads split off, one to the cliffs of Achaidh, and the other to Lindor, the city of song. Hillfort is known for its farmlands. Rich crops grow fertile in this land. Many in this town prosper and sustain from it. Along with the constant foot traffic of travellers who pass through, this town is not rich, neither poor. It's bustling with people, and as night sets and your weary feet travel to the nearest tavern, you can see people shutting up shop, giving you nods, closing their doors. You can see a light in the distance, and you can hear the soft trail of music. It kind of pulls you, your weary, weary feet. Come up to a tavern called the Thirsty Cup. It's a 2-story establishment. Basic, made of wood. Its base, stonework that's kind of crusted with mold and moss. Obviously, there's a lot of moisture here. It's very cold. The air is sharp. Around you, mountains shoot up into the air. And the mountains are kind of crusted with a wood, a deep, thick wood. And as we approach the Thirsty Cup, you get a good look at our 3 adventurers. As lights from the tavern hits their faces, and they approach the door. We introduce ourselves, maybe give a bit of an idea as to how you look, your names. Is that with you, Tyler?
Reed comes from a wealthy family of halfling performers. His father was an adventuring bard who amassed a wealth beyond the riches of his homely burrows. Reed has been taught by the best tutors money could buy. He has also gone to the Bardic College of Lore. He stands a mighty 3 feet tall, with long flowing light brown hair and beautiful dreamy hazel eyes. He looks like Prince Charming from your fantasy, if only shrunk down to halfling size.
Nice. So as you walk up to the front door, you can hear music being played, and probably you kind of grimace a little bit. It's not being played very well. Corey, what do we see when the light hits your dark form?
Zan is an interesting character because he looks exactly like, well, everyone else for some strange reason. You get a kind of a vibe that that's probably not what he really looks like, but he definitely blends into groups very easily. In fact, if the group seems to change, he changes with it. Very little stands out about him, and you can tell it's for a very good reason.
Okay. Corey, Zan, as you also approach the tavern, you can see this halfling who has been traveling with you, whether by choice or not, is kind of throwing you a look like this. Not impressed. The music. Ben, now we meet your character.
We do. Ander is a fairly plain-looking individual himself. There's nothing that really particularly stands out about him. But in a rather different way to Zan. It's more that it's not so much that he has to blend in. and will sort of use it as a camouflage. It's just that he is fairly average. He's from a trapping community out in the woods to the east. The only real distinguishing feature that one might notice about him is that he just looks haunted and hounded. But other than that, the worst that you could say about him is he tends to be covered in the detritus from his travels. And it's generally sort of, there's dust from the trail. And usually things that he's poached are hanging from his belt. And
Okay.
he's always very, very happy to find a tavern.
You've got a bit of a smell, a lived-in smell.
Sure,
You? Yeah,
earthy.
an earthy
Yeah.
smell. So, how did you three come upon each other? You've definitely been traveling for some time. You're tired. This road has been long. You've come from the south, which is the snow-capped peaked mountains. Probably traveled through few different towns. Brought you three together, do you think? Have we discussed this? Do we know, or shall we kind of
That's
Discover
obviously
it.
an appreciation for the arts.
Well,
Oh.
in Zan's case, he was hired, so
Well, Reed put out an ad looking for adventurers because he needs to impress his father with his exploits.
yeah.
And these are the two distinguished gentlemen who showed up that day.
Right. And was that the purpose
Neither
of
did
your showing up, gentlemen, or did you just happen to wander into the wrong place at the wrong time?
Everywhere's the right place for Anda.
Oh yeah. It was bait.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, in order to kind of further my own ends, I need the coin to pay scholars in order to do the research for me that I require.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in any way skilled in it. And it's kind of it's got to the point on my long road that I take any job that pays. And this was the latest one I found.
Yeah. Yep. So. And you, Zan?
More likely than not, it was kind of a, hey, look, there's somebody that needs somebody to go on an adventure. Hey, that's a chance to gather souls.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, because there's always a bit of rough tough, probably a bit of killing involved when you go on adventures, when you wrestle with the fates. Yeah. So
A
this
little
has
fisticuff.
dragged you all together, and so here you are, in the small town of Hillport, possibly on your way to bigger and better things, because Hillport is only known as a place that you pass through, not a place that you stay. It's not particularly interesting. But you're at the Thirsty Cup. The door kind of is slightly ajar, and in between you can smell cooking smells and heard the fire. What would you like to do?
I believe, gentlemen, we need to retire for the night. However, I really feel like I'm gonna have to plug my ears when we go inside.
We'll
Is
get
this a matter?
you good and drunk, you won't care.
Is this a matter you wish taken care of?
Well,
I kind of look at Zan
be-
like, what?
to be fair, Zan, I think he's just a poor musician, not somebody we need to remove themselves from this plane. Let's just, you know what? You're right. Let's just go get knackered and drunk and have fun.
Okay.
He's gonna creepily open the door to see who's playing the music and just once he sees who it is, he's gonna be like straight nose up towards them the whole time as he walks to the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, so your little halfling hand kind of hits the door and you reach it open and you look, and over in the far right corner you can see a tiny little platform And a gnome and a dwarf is kind of sitting there, and they're trying really hard to like bang on this guitar and this flute, and kind of looking at each other really intensely and getting into it, and they think they're doing amazing. But you kind of do this and walk on in, and as you do, you're so focused on those two performers way over in the right corner, suddenly, whoosh, you kind of get smacked into by this little halfling girl. And she's carrying this large, precariously balanced pile of buckets. And she kind of hits you, wow, and rebalances herself. And you kind of startle a bit, and she's, mind your way. And she kind of scuttles around you. And now you kind of can focus on the tavern itself. The tavern has chairs and tables kind of scattered randomly throughout. There's not a lot of patrons. You can see two elves over in one corner. They're kind of whispering to each other. There's a female who's elegant, and her posture kind of indicates that she's bored with everything, and she's sitting back, and then the other elven woman, long black hair and hazel eyes, to kind of look you over as you walk in. To the other far corner, you can see another dwarven male. His skin is tattooed elaborately, and you probably may have picked, probably not you two, and you would probably recognize this dwarf being the travel person that you are. This dwarf comes from the snow-capped mountains of the south. They have a large dwarven city down there that, and all of them are indicated by this large, elaborate tattoos that they just cover themselves in. It's very rare to see one of these dwarves. And he's sitting there in the shadows, just with his mug. I'm sorry, I am sick. This tiny tiny halfling girl is kind of balancing these buckets and running in between the tables and chairs, and you watch as she just places them on the ground and starts climbing up them. And you can see hanging from the roof are a number of chandeliers with small wicked candles that are almost burnt out, and they're dripping wax onto the table down below. And she's quickly pulling out candles from behind her. Oh, I'm so... And she's like replacing them really quickly, blowing them out and replacing the candles, kind of balanced precariously on the top of these buckets. At the back is a long polished bar, behind which is a rather beefy man. He is looking at you three very sternly, kind of polishing a mug, as all bartenders do. Let's be real. And he's polishing this mug, kind of huffs at you. Take a seat, he says, as you walk in.
Don't most people use magic to change the candles? I feel like that's not very safe.
You say this to her? I see.
Not to her. I'm saying it to the bartender because she's just the help.
He kind of he kind of huffs again, looks at her, shrugs. It's how she prefers to do it. I think she used to be a performer, circus, traveling.
Well, maybe you should get her to play the music then, because I don't think they're performers at all.
No good.
By the way, I'll have an ale.
Oh, yes. It goes under the thing, pulls out a mug, poof, fills it up. So, you traveling? Through? Staying? You traveling through or staying?
Traveling through.
Traveling through? And he gives you an ale, asks for 10 copper.
I'm just thinking I'm just going to start a tab, so here's a gold piece, and when we run out, let me know.
He looks at the gold. Gives you a nod. Ale for all of you, son?
If that's what they're having, I assume that
Yes,
there's
please.
enough there to cover whatever.
Hmm?
I have a feeling
Yep.
Zane might... I have a feeling he might do something a little harder than ale.
Kind of
I will have water.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Oh, okay.
water. There, that's good enough. Puts out mugs, fills them up, shoves them to you across the bar. The water that he kind of shoves to you, Zan, is a little murky. Got a few little bits and pieces kind of floating in it. Shoves that towards you. Nods, goes back to polishing his mug.
It's fine. The yeast is extra protein. It's good for you.
Yeah. Let's find a table as far away from Abbott and Costello doing the comedy routine as we can.
Are you sure you do not wish this taken care of?
Yes.
Maybe after a few more ales. We'll see.
If it so pleases you, I can make sure they live.
I feel like that one's worse.
Yeah, I think Andrew, let's just go have a seat. Come on, join us.
Okay. I put my empty mug back on the bar and ask for the next one, please.
Yep, he fills it. Very quickly.
Thank you,
shoves
sir.
it towards you.
And
Zan
follow the
stares at the mug, stares at the bartender, shakes his head, and then follows behind Reed.
Are you sure you don't want to? Okay.
Okay, so you guys find a table right at the far back, probably next or closest to the two elves who are sitting and kind of whispering to each other. You drink for a moment, and then a little body kind of jumps up at the table. Her head kind of bounces up. She's like, "Oh, welcome to Hillfort. I'm sorry about before. I didn't mean to knock into you. I didn't see you. Sometimes I'm clumsy like that. It just happens. Can I get you guys something to eat? You look famished. We've got stewed onion versus cabbage, stewed lettuce. That one I would really recommend." Are you guys okay?
Is there nothing with meat?
Meat. Oh, I think we have some rabbit. I can check out in the kitchen. It's been a little slight of late, the pickings, you know. There's not a lot around here, but we have a lot of lettuce and cabbage. A lot.
I kind of
It's
reach around to
good.
my belt and I unhook a hair. It's like, here you go. You can have that one.
Oh, she kind of looks at it and, thank you. Oh, well, we can cook and prepare this for you if you like.
Yeah,
That'd be
because I really
excellent.
don't feel like eating the common food tonight.
Yeah, I don't. She kind of looks at you like she wasn't sure if that was an insult or not, and just kind of grabs the hair and throws it over her shoulder. And she's short, she's tiny, so this hair is it's large on her. She kind of flips it over and it kind of drags on the ground. All right, I'll go back to the kitchen and see what we can do. And she kind of skips away back into the kitchen, and the guy behind the bar, still polishing his mug, watches her go.
Lettuce is not food. Lettuce is what food eats.
Do you think she knows how to actually cook it? Because she said she'll see what they can do.
We're about to find out.
I feel like either it's they can, or they cannot. Anyways, do you think she? Never mind. And he takes both hands on the mug and just starts drowning the music out.
It comes in pints?
It comes in pints.
Sadly, I think Reed does as well.
Slight change in the cooking smells from the kitchen. Something that turns a little bit more from stew and like wet stew to something that smells a little more appetizing. And as you can feel kind of your stomach gurgle a little bit for what should hopefully be a good meal, you hear at the back, "Are you calling me a liar?" "I would never do such a thing, it's just... But our crops, they've been withering on the outskirts for some time. No one can explain." And you can hear these voices shouting from outside the tavern, just out through the door. "We can't stand here arguing about this," you hear another voice call, and suddenly the doors poof, open. And you can see in the light of the fireplace, kind of against the darkness of the now fallen night, a tall man, lithe, thin, angular features and a long nose, a perfect thick blue jacket, and press pants, and he's kind of standing there looking over the bar. His big nose kind of flares, looks at you, Bree, in the bar corner, and just heads straight to the platform.
Do you think he's related to the bartender?
Walks over to the platform,
Looks-
another jar, and kind of does this motion. The two players stop and kind of shovel over, and he stands up onto the platform, turns around with arms crossed. What follows him into the bar is about 10 to 12 common village people, various sizes and genders, races and ages. And they all start piling into the bar, and suddenly what was not a crowded place at all is filled with people not as smartly or as richly dressed as the man standing rather on top of the platform, looking down at these people. You look over at the barkeep. He's stopped, polishing his mug, placed it down on the bar, and he's kind of watching now intently as all of these people are just piling into his establishment and like shaking his head. And you can hear the first voice continue. A rather common-looking everyday man, sandy brown hair, maybe in his 40s, and he's right at the front of the crowd. This could have killed Edwina if we hadn't run when we had those things. I saw them coming from the old crypt. I'm telling you, whatever evil lurks there is now free. And the gentleman on the bar kind of, scarecrows? Scarecrows? Are you serious? No, there was something more. They were twisted, evil things. You said they looked like scarecrows. Don't mock him. Can't you see he's been through a lot? You can't keep pretending there isn't something going on in the forest surrounding this place. By the gods, once the cold months set in, we won't have any food to survive at this rate. You need to do something. Action! You see soldiers around me. Do you like to volunteer, Phil? How about you, Byron? Calm down. Wait until morning. We can put a search party together and check it out. You expect us to just go back to our homes and sleep? When possessed scarecrow demon creatures are running around miles from our very houses? At this point, you can see that the crowd is getting really worked up, yeah?
Can I make a knowledge check to see if I can infer what these twisted scarecrows are?
Yeah, go for it.
What would you like me to roll? As a bar, history, nature?
History? Yeah, or
History?
intelligence?
Just straight intelligence?
Yeah, whatever.
History is the same thing.
Oh,
well,
22.
you know.
Yeah. You're
That
a,
might do it, yeah.
you're a
Yeah,
travel
that-
bloke. Yeah.
I know shit.
Yeah, you know shit. Maybe different kind of shit to Anda, whose travels have kind of been a bit more focused on a certain particular mission, a certain particular goal. But you hear stories. Stories in taverns, stories in traveling bands, people that you've grown up with your father and your brother traveling about. And you've heard stories, and there have been, you remember one farmer talking about waking up one morning and finding that these scarecrows that were just perched out on his farmland had just come to life out of nothing, and they kind of caused a bit of havoc. Some soldiers came in, dispatched of them, and there was hearsay that there was a witch in the area, and she had done something to his scarecrows on his land. Now, as a child, hearing this story, he probably thought, right, whatever. But now,
Gotta go to bed early.
yeah, there's that connection made that it's possible. You know it's possible. This mayor is like dismissing it as But the folk are getting really rowdy now, and the mayor on top of the platform is kind of searching around, and his eyes once again fall on you three. Says,
Zan
"You
will like go out of the way to nudge Reed and kind of nod, like maybe we ought to look into this.
three, you, travelers,
Yeah.
seem like a skilled, well-traveled bunch. How much would it take for you three to go check this out? Jack's silly scarecrow demons. Give them some peace.
Well-
I'll pay you gold.
Well,
How much?
About 100 gold pieces. It's just some
Each? That's not a bad deal.
scarecrows.
yeah, I think we could do that for 100 gold.
Um,
Now, did you say each or just 100 gold? I honestly wasn't really listening.
just 100 gold. Oh,
I-
100
Just,
gold.
see, now that's less of a good deal.
I don't know if he's
Oh.
talking out of character.
Oh,
I'm so used to you doing
that was
crazy
that-
voices.
I know. Wow. Okay, let's say 75 gold each.
He looks at you. Jack turns around and he's like, if you're not going to do it, if you're not going to organize anyone else to do it, then pay them. We'll all pay. We'll all put in for it. And he looks at you three and he's like, we really appreciate it. He's like, but you have to go to the crypt. That's where it's all coming from.
Ah,
It's
that's not a problem. Look at these gentlemen. They look like they belong there.
kind of looks at you now and
Look at Reed.
you can
like,
see he's
"What?"
really focusing now, whereas he didn't notice before. He's like, actually, kind of. And before he could even finish his sentence, one of the women kind of shoves him, and she's like, 75 gold each. That's fine. That's fine. I think we should all wait here until they return, until we know it's safe. We should get our children. And she just starts talking about how we're gonna gather everybody and create like a
Great. Now just stop talking
Maybe
for 1
we
second.
should-
Don't touch our rabbit. I'm hungry. He's hungry. We're all hungry.
rabbit, and someone else goes, who's got a rabbit? It's like, I can smell. And they just start murmuring now amongst each other.
Allow me to explain further. The first person who touches our food gets his throat slit. The next will not be as nice.
Yeah, he's a little tense. He's
I feel
a
like
little
that's a
tense.
really strong start.
That
That was
we-
time. That was
yeah. Mine was a joke.
Stuff.
I,
And then you can escalate. Like you didn't leave
Yeah,
yourself into the room. Just,
Xander can get us another one. Like, look at his belt. I was just messing with him. I just wanted to see how long it would take before they actually ate it, because they're
Some
starving. Look at them.
Murmuring starts to reoccur amongst the now silent crowd, all staring at Sam. But Jack, the gentleman, kind of pushes his way through. He's like, don't worry about it. He's like, he walks up to you three. He's like, I can show you the way.
Perfect.
He's like, I really appreciate it. Come
You're
Come on.
paying us.
before or after?
Oh, well, if we die, it's kind of silly to leave gold lying in the crypt.
Yes, that's what I thought as well. As not that you'll die. I'm sure you are all very well. Anyway, he's like, come on, and he kind of indicates that you should follow him out of the tavern. You can see that the halfling girl that was carrying the buckets has kind of perched herself up onto the bar, and she's tossing her feet back and forth. And she looks at all of you three, and she's like, "Don't worry, I'll save your rodent."
No.
You prepared it
Just
really
read
well.
a book. Read a book. Walks out the door.
The door's going to swing into your back as you walk out, back into the chilly air, back onto the dusty streets.
As we're walking, I'm going to regale